There's a lesser known fact that some racing shoes can actually feel really awkward underfoot, unless you're absolutely flying. But there are a few super shoes out there that do give you a relatively stable ride when you compare them against the competition. Introducing the Cielo X13. Fancy box, I know, but they're fancy shoes and they deserve a box like this. And so do I. And the grand reveal. Pretty cool, hey? So I'm just going to take these off this fantastic infinity mirror that HOKA sent me. Thank you so much, guys. Absolutely love this. Definitely going to be hanging this on my wall so I can stare into the abyss and think about my goals for running. And there's also a little pen on here which I'm going to use to write my goals right in the middle of this little infinity mirror, and every time I stare into this I'm going to be thinking about hitting those goals. And by the way, I have actually decided to go back to Speed Goat by UTMB in Utah this year, so if any of you out there are going to be doing that race, let me know. It'd be awesome to see you out on the course. The Cielo X13 is now bouncier, better balanced, and still an absolute marathon racing weapon. This only weighs 7 ounces now. They've managed to slice off even more weight, making it the lightest HOKA racing shoe out there. And I really can't wait to tell you all about this one because it's a special shoe. But before I get into that, let's go over the key specifications. They cost $275 and they are released today on the 29th of January 2026. They weigh 7 ounces or 198 grams. That's for a size US men's 9, my pair. That actually weighs 0.2 of an ounce lighter than the previous version, the Cielo X12. And coincidentally, the exact same weight as the Rocket X3. If you are deciding which one to get, I'm probably going to put together a versus or comparison review and blog post, so if you do want to learn which one's going to be best for you, stay tuned, stick around, that will be coming out soon. They have a drop of 7mm, that's 38mm under the heel and 31mm under the toe. And the upper is using a lino weave textile and stretchy dynamic vamp. It's got that asymmetrical lacing system here, which actually works really well. I haven't been fond of asymmetrical lacing systems in racing shoes in the past. I'm looking at you, Nike. But actually this one here does work really well and it doesn't look weird to me. The midsole is using dual layer PEBA foam, so absolutely incredible responsiveness from that PEBA foam. And it also has a new carbon plate design, making it even more propulsive than the previous version. And the outsole is using a compression molded polyurethane. When it comes to sizing and fit, they're very much true to size and they have a medium width. They've got that race tuned fit, so I'm not going to say they're narrow, I'm going to call them snug. And that is very common with race day shoes because you don't want any wasted energy from slipping around in the shoe. So they all have to be able to secure your foot well within the shoe, and that's basically what's going on here. It's a race fit, it's not narrow. This one doesn't have a roomy toe box. It is a little bit snug in there, so there's not a huge amount of wiggle room. There's great heel lock here. The lacing system does lock your foot down within the shoe really well. And I like this tongue. Huge improvement to the tongue. It's much longer now and it does wrap around your foot a lot more. Feels super comfortable on the upper. There's also plenty of padding in the collars, and at the heel counter it is nice and articulated like the HOKA Rocket X3. One of my favorite racing shoes right now. And also the Cielo X12. It's got that similar shape there. I love articulated heel counters because it doesn't put too much pressure on my Achilles, but it also locks my foot down within the shoe really well. It's a win-win for me. If you're enjoying this review so far, which I really hope you are, make sure you tap that like button. I really appreciate it. Super easy to do, and even if you don't like this video, just tap that like button. I'll love you forever. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next review. And I want to know if you've had experience with the Cielo X13. I I want to get all your thoughts, your experiences, whether you like it, whether you don't. Put all that in the comments down below. It's really going to help my subscribers and people who come to watch the video who aren't subscribed, which totally should be subscribed. It'll help them decide whether or not these racing shoes are going to be for them or not, based on all that crowdsourced information. And if you've run in the previous versions, just let me know your thoughts on them too. If you don't have any thoughts at all, just say hi, introduce yourself. I love getting to know you guys better. Moving on to my performance review then, I'm going to start by talking about the midsole, the geometry, the foam, and the ride that it gives you on the run. That's the most important thing for me with a running shoe, is how it feels underfoot and whether it's capable for the type of run it's designed to do. First off, right out of the gates, I'm going to mention how it feels just standing in the shoe, because that's something that gets overlooked with a racing shoe. You're going to be standing in it, waiting at the start line for a long time. It's got to feel comfortable, but that also translates to on the run. So the rocker has changed on this new version. If you look at the older one above, you'll see the rocker at the heel goes up a lot sooner towards the rear. What that did is just made you feel like you were going to fall backwards while standing around or walking, or even at slower paces. And if you're going up a hill, well, be careful. That is actually fixed. So the rocker at the rear is slightly more towards the rear, and I don't feel like I'm falling backwards when I'm not doing anything in the shoe. That translates to the run. If I am going to be running slower, I don't get that awkwardness at the heel anymore. And to be honest, if you are running in a shoe like this, a $275 racing shoe, you probably are trying to gun it. You're trying to run as fast as you can during a race, which means you're probably going to be landing more towards your forefoot or your toe throughout that race, meaning you're not going to get any issues at the heel anyway. But I have to talk about the heel on this one. It's still not a stable running shoe. Most race day shoes aren't stable. I think the HOKA Rocket X3 is one of those rare breeds here where it is a lot more stable at the heel and a lot more approachable to intermediate beginner runners who just want a really fast race day shoe. So if that sounds like you, I would definitely watch this review of this one as well. Watch this one afterwards. I'll put a link up there so you can go check that one out in your own time. But that's a rare breed, and the original Cielo X1 was a rare breed too. That was incredibly stable and approachable to so many runners. And I know anyone who's watching this now is definitely going to say the same thing. They're going to say, wow, I love that shoe. It was the only shoe out there that was that stable but allowed me to run incredibly fast as well. So version 2 of this lineup kind of went the other way, and it was a little bit wobbly and a bit unstable, especially at the heel. This one is going back towards the original, but it's staying super lightweight, and I love it for it. It's definitely going in the right direction now, and this is a super fast running shoe. There's an incredible amount of bounce and pop in this shoe. I'd say if you land around this point here, so maybe a little bit further back from the midsection, that really initiates a incredible transition from forward roll. The foam just compresses here, you hit that carbon plate, and you get an incredible toe off. It's really unlike anything I've tested in a race day shoe to date. I'm going to show you what the flex and pop is like if I just flex the shoe and let go. So it's not hugely stiff, but there's an amazing amount of pop there. When you compare it to something like the Alphafly 3 from Nike, I'm really trying to flex that shoe. It's so much stiffer. And what that means is your feet are actually going to feel more tired at the end of a run, because you're using a lot more power or muscle strength to actually try and initiate that plate, flex it, and fly off. The Alphafly 3 is incredibly good if you are moving at incredible paces and you're able to initiate that plate to actually get the energy return from it. The Cielo X13 is going to feel a lot more natural. Those who like to have a more natural flex and just to be able to use their own muscles to actually get more out of the shoe, you're really going to appreciate how this feels on the run. At speeds, but also at slower paces, and that's where the Alphafly falls back. Now I have to call out the heel area on the Cielo X13. to me, that's really the only downside in this racing shoe. It is very narrow at the heel, as you can see here. So if you are a heel striker, this is not going to be for you. You're going to be much better placed with something like the Rocket X3. You're going to get a very similar experience if you go for that one. It's just going to feel less aggressive, less bouncy, maybe less poppy over long marathon distance, I guess you could call it. But it's going to feel more stable than this one. This one is just incredibly bouncy, but if you land at the heel, you're going to feel a little bit wobbly and you're going to be using more muscle strength to try and stabilize yourself, meaning your feet are probably going to get more tired over a marathon distance if you do heel strike or land further back on the shoe. But like I said, for most people wanting to buy this shoe, you're probably going to be running more towards your forefoot, where most of the surface area of this shoe is. That's where this one performs so much better. When you're running aggressively at speed, this one gives so much back. The grip has been reliable so far. Been really enjoying the outsole on here. It seems to be more durable than the Rocket X3 and also the Cielo X1 too. So far, I'm not seeing really any wear compared to what I was seeing on a previous version at this point in testing. So that's actually pretty incredible. So I think this is going to last quite a long time. I'm going to be running in it for a long time. I'm going to run it through. So I will update this review in the comments section if I notice anything. So the Cielo X1 3 is really the ideal race day shoe. It's the one you pick for your 10K, half marathon, and especially the marathon distance. That's where this one's going to perform best. It's where you're going to get the most efficiency out of it and the most enjoyment because of all the bounce and the fun spring back in the midsole. But it's also a good marathon pace training shoe, and if you do want a fast tempo running shoe and you're not afraid to wear a plated shoe for those training runs, and it's going to be really good for that too. If you're wondering where the Cielo X1 3 features on my best super shoes or carbon plated race day shoes roundup, well, follow that link up there. That's going to take you to my guide, which will help you find the best ones to you, and you'll see where it's placed compared to all the other fantastic race day shoes right now. Well, you've made it to my final verdict. Are they worth $275? That is a lot of cash. So you really have to commit with this one, and that's probably why you're looking at this review. You want to know if it's worth buying or not. Well, yes, for the right person, it's 100% worth it. When it comes to max stack, highly cushioned, highly bouncy, poppy race day shoes, this is among the best right now. It is awesome, it's incredibly fast, but like I said, you have to be running aggressively to get the most out of it. This is not the running shoe for sitting back or going slow, landing towards your heel. You won't have the best experience. You're going to feel unstable, you're going to start wobbling, you're going to have to try and stabilize with your foot muscles and leg muscles, and that's going to cause your feet and legs to just feel tired sooner than they should. So for you, you're going to want something like the Rocket X3. That would be much better fit for you. But if you are an ambitious runner and you know you're going to be running more towards your forefoot with a higher cadence, you're not going to have overreaching strides where you might land on your heel, then you guys are going to absolutely love this shoe. It's one of the fastest shoes right now. It's super lightweight, not the lightest racing shoe, but you've got so much protection and bounce and springiness from this one that it's worth it. So worth it. Just for the experience, you've got to try it. There's so many fantastic updates with this one. It's lighter, it's snappier, it's more comfortable in the upper. I love the new tongue. And I think it looks better as well. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think this one looks like a fast, snappy running shoe? Well, that's it for my HOKA Cielo X1 review. I really hope you enjoyed it. Once again, please like the video, really appreciate it. And subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.